Welcome to the Coffee Playdate podcast. I'm your hostess, Dr. Olga Deengar, and this is the place where I chat with entrepreneurs and physicians doing incredible things outside of medicine. I have a very special guest with us today, Dr. Sid Kathuria. Welcome, Sid.
Hey, how you doing?
Very good. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm excited to be on the pod, excited to be a guest. I feel very honored to be part of the podcast and, joining Coach Olga's studio. I love it.
Well, I'm so happy you're here. I always like to start off by asking, what type of coffee do you like, or how do you like your coffee?
Black, always black. I try to use different beans all the time. So I'm exploring. Right now, I'm on this, African vibe, Nigerian beans. So different beans all together. So what about you?
I like my coffee as a cappuccino. That's my absolute favorite, my go-to. And I also like to experiment with different beans.
Okay.
Most of the time I go with probably a dark bean. That's
Yeah.
the one I like the most.
Yeah. I actually, it's weird. I don't know. I guess it's like a known opinion or a known fact, but I guess I found out very late in life is that the lighter the bean, the stronger the coffee. Like as far as potency for caffeine, which I thought was completely the opposite. But I don't know if I was the last person to figure that out. But that's my fun fact.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
That's
That's
a
a fun
good
fact.
good fact for sure. Okay, so the first game is called the Rapid Fire Questions game. I'm going to give
Okay.
you two options, and you just choose the one that you like more. You don't need to give any
Okay.
explanations, just go with your gut instinct.
Let's do this.
Here we go. Managing sepsis or managing ARDS?
Managing sepsis.
Placing an arterial line or placing a central line?
Central line.
Nice. Attending a regional conference or hosting a local simulation workshop?
Ooh, that's tough. Simulation workshop.
Teaching residents or coaching faculty on simulation debrief?
Teaching residents.
Great answers. Now for our second game, we are going to play the take a sip game. So again, I'm going to give you two options, but this time we both have to answer. If our answers match, then we have to take a sip of our coffees. Here we go.
Your drinking games, my favorite.
First question, presenting at Grand Rounds or an conference?
Conference.
Grand Rounds.
Ooh.
Second one, wearing scrubs or wearing a white coat?
Scrubs.
Scrubs. Me too. I love scrubs. You don't have to worry about what outfit you need to wear.
I hated white coats until being an attending, and now I wear a white coat every day.
Well, you do, even in the ICU.
Yeah, even in the ICU, I wear the white coat, yeah.
Awesome. Next question is using UpToDate or ChatGPT to answer a clinical question.
I'm going to go neither.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
I'm going to look up a different AI. So I like open evidence, actually. That's my new go-to, actually.
Oh, well, I'd love to hear more
So I
about
guess it's
that.
an AI. Yeah, open evidence. It's an artificial intelligence, but it's not really a generative AI. It's more of a evidence-based AI. So it's nice. They have access to all the current journals. I think they have a contract with JAMA, with New England Journal of Medicine. So that's kind of my go-to right now.
Oh, wow. We'll make sure to
Yeah,
link that in the show notes for our
100%.
listeners. Next question, baseball or basketball?
Basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah, all right. Although, go Blue Jays.
Yeah. All right. So, Sid, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm currently an intensivist at Aventura Hospital, one of the HCA East Florida hospitals here in Aventura, about 25 minutes outside of Miami. My role outside of being an intensivist, I'm faculty in the Pulmonary Critical Care Fellowship, as well as the internal medicine residency, the TY residency program, the emergency medicine residency program, and I'm the director for simulation for the division. So we cover about 7 hospitals. So my role is to develop everything from curriculum to obtaining appropriate sites. We developed our sim labs, got an architect, built out architecture. So anything sim in the East Florida division, that's my role. And that's probably the most exciting part of my job.
That's amazing. How did you get to be the simulation champion?
Yeah. So essentially, my third year of my fellowship, I decided to trace a path where I'm going to be the simulation director in the future. So what I decided in my third year of fellowship, my future endeavors outside of pulmonary and critical care will be simulation related. Honestly, since day one, I think I was a medical student at Henry Ford and we did some sim and I was hooked. Same place where I actually ended up doing rotations that got me hooked to ICU. And from then on, really, that kind of stuck with me. We did residency at the same spot, and we did a lot of simulation. And then
Yeah.
finally, I fell in love with sim, my fellowship, and decided to pursue that. And so, through my training and being fellowship trained in simulation, I had the attributes and the resume to be the sim director for our division and lead the charge. And that was a very huge task. And I ended up doing things I wasn't initially trained for, but learned a lot. Essentially, got an MBA in managing budgets, managing sites, managing facilities. So it was a really incredible experience.
You've come a long way from Norwalk, which is where we did our residency, which is where we became very good friends. That's
Yeah, and
incredible.
it's nice because we've seen each other's growth, and I think we've seen each other's paths and help each other grow, which has really been nice.
I love that. Now, what kind of mindset did you need to have as you were building yourself up as the simulation director?
Yeah, I think self confidence. In my position, again, I've thrown very early in. I had to be responsible for a lot of different faculty from a lot of different specialties, people I'd never met before, covering 7 hospitals that I think are about, 180 miles from each other total from back to front, that cover 55 residency programs, 800 residents with specialties that I haven't done sim specifically for before, for example, orthopedics. I had to gain a lot of knowledge, but I think building that trust within these different faculty, reading anything I didn't know, I had to look up and came back to my faculty and developing that relationship with them, truly helped me out. In addition, there are certain things that I hadn't done before, like manage a huge budget. So, HCA devoted a lot of money to simulation and simulation education. So, managing multi-million dollar budgets was not something I expected to do, but something I ended up doing. So learning how to track funds, learning how to, discuss with C-suite how funds will be allocated. And when we need additional funds, trying to get funds from them. So everything from money management to faculty management to designating tasks and learning from my experiences, learning on the fly, I thought were really important for me.
Yeah, it sounds like you needed to adapt to every new situation that has come up in your training and your career.
I think so,
Good.
and I think as our training grew, adaptability was key. And as going from med school to residency, adapt. Residency to fellowship, you have to adapt. You move from one city to the other, you have to adapt. If you don't, you're going to fall flat. And that's not what we're meant to do. So we're here to grow.
Absolutely. And what is one challenge that you faced along your journey, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I think challenges have been plenty. Everyone talks about imposter syndrome, but I think for me, it was less imposter syndrome, but more, okay, I have to do A, B, C, D, and F. Now, how do I fit A, B, C, D, and F on my plate? And I think that's been the biggest challenge, allocating appropriate time for every task and not burning myself out. I want to do everything, but I also have a family. So how do I balance those two things? I want to get enough sleep. I got to work a night shift. I got a meeting in the morning. So I think it becomes okay with saying no to certain tasks and saying yes to the tasks that you really want and having that balance and really dedicating yourself to the tasks that you want to do and know you're going to help you grow. Of course, you want to help out everybody as you can, but you got to make sure that when you say yes, you can complete that task. And I think one of the most important things I've learned through this journey is it's okay to say no, because if you don't say no to a task you can't complete, it's going to be worse.
Yeah. I also feel that way. It's like when you delegate or when you let others take over a task of yours, then sometimes they're even better at doing that task than you are. So you're actually playing on everybody's strengths, which is really important. Now,
Yeah.
is there one piece of advice that you'd have for someone who's also interested in simulation medicine, who's just starting out?
Yes, have fun. It's such an enjoyable opportunity. And I think it's one of those team sports that you get to go into. Medicine, a lot of times, especially if you're outside of academic medicine, or even if you're in academic medicine, can be a solo sport. But simulation allows you to grow as a team, learn how to communicate. And ultimately, everything comes down to communication. So I think really have fun, enjoy it, and learn how to learn and learn how to teach, learn lessons from your students, and be open to new ideas.
I love that. Well said.
Yeah.
Now, is there a book recommendation that you have for our listeners today?
Yes, I have a big one. It's How to Think Big. It's an amazing book, really tells you how to grow everything from even walking, how to present yourself, smiling, the pace of walking, how you present to others, about having big ideas and not thinking small, not taking things personally. And if you do fail, you can't blame others. You have to look upon yourself and improve from there. So, amazing book.
I've actually read that book. I love that book too.
Right? It's like it's super motivating, and it's just how to carry yourself, and I think one of the biggest lessons for me was, if you do fail, you can't put it on others. You gotta see what happened, and you gotta move on and go from there, and I think that was my favorite lesson from that.
Yes, take full responsibility for your failures because they're actually opportunities to grow and to learn and to progress and become better version of yourself.
100%, and you have to accept that, and you can't dwell on the past, you have to grow.
Absolutely. I think that really resonates with our listeners today. Well,
Yeah, I love that.
thank you so much for joining our podcast today. I'd love to have you back on another episode in the future. I hope you have a great day.
Perfect, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining the Coffee Playdate podcast. Hit subscribe, tune into the next episode, and I'll see you at the next coffee chat.